So, Willem, let's get on. It's interesting. I've tried to bring on more people from South Africa, and I'm happy. I'm happy you're here.
Thank you very much. No, appreciate it. Looking forward to this conversation.
Yes.
Because I like the work that you do and the focus that you have on the people in Africa. And I think that focus is right.
Very good. So,
good.
Willem, tell my audience who you are and what you do.
Good. I am Willem Gous. I'm an international speaker on leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years now. So I've built very successful businesses and destroyed most of them as well. I'm a single father.
Okay.
And for giggles, I'm a firewalking instructor. So I help people walk over red hot coals.
Interesting.
And my main focus in life is the human entrepreneur, where I am fighting and trying to solve the unemployment crisis that we have in Africa.
See, that was the next question I was going to ask you, because I saw that on your LinkedIn profile, which says you are a human entrepreneur. So tell us more about what that means. In essence.
I'm glad. That's a very good question. If you look at, so my classes always start, ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurship is the biggest lie being sold to you. And then I've had people go in class, excuse me, I'm here for the entrepreneurship workshop. I said, hold my beer. I'll be with you in a second. And the fun thing that there is, and then you ask, because I mainly work with unemployed youth here in Africa, in South Africa.
Okay.
And then I ask, what have you heard about entrepreneurship? You're going to escape poverty. You're going to reduce inequality, gain all of these nice little things. And they're like, yeah. And I said, now, what the politicians, the speakers, and the books forget to tell you, that entrepreneurship was designed to do one thing and one thing only. And that is to look after the needs of the customer. If you look at the life, the working conditions, and the financial stability of a typical entrepreneur, you will see, he didn't get any of the stuff that was promised. And they're like, exactly. Our current approach to entrepreneurship, in a way, is destroying the entrepreneur. And that's why I always tell the people, if the business can't serve you, you can't serve the customer can't serve the business.
Okay.
It needs to be a co-creational relationship, not a relationship of slavery and servitude. Okay. Because here's a good question. Okay. Ekene, imagine you go into a new relationship and you know everything that this person wants, what their needs are, what makes them happy. And you take all of your time, your money, and attention to give all of that to them. And then you never tell them what you want. How would that relationship be?
Not good. Not
good.
Not good for me. Yes.
Not good for you. But like one psychologist said to me, Willem, but that's the basis of an abusive relationship. But that's how most people start their businesses.
Yep.
And then we end up in an abusive relationship with our business where we get screwed over, and not in a good way. And that's why I go, don't worry about the customer. There's 7.5 billion of them. We have enough. So don't worry about the business. There's enough business ideas out there. So don't worry about them as well. Let's start with you.
Okay.
And that's my focus with the human entrepreneurs. I want to empower entrepreneurs. I don't want to sacrifice entrepreneurs on the altar of product or service or MVP success. Okay. I'm trying to keep entrepreneurs in the game.
Wow. Wow. See,
I need a rubber mic for this.
Yes, you should. You know what? See, I when I saw your profile and I saw that, I knew I'm going to enjoy talking to you. Okay. And
that's great.
I very much like your focus. Okay. because you are very correct. Most young people who get into entrepreneurship, they lose themselves trying to get all those things that they have been that the social media entrepreneurs have told them they will get. Okay, and most of them lose their way.
Absolutely, and their money.
They get frustrated at doing this, getting those things. Yeah, so it's good to focus on the person.
Well, here's something interesting. I just finished an hour-long conversation with a young entrepreneur in Accra. And I asked him, what are you reading? He says, no, I'm reading books about people who's done that. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I gave him the advice and said, stop doing that.
Ooh.
And he went like, why? I said, the problem is there's nothing wrong with it. But you're seeking answers and ways of doing things. Okay. Try to look at the ways that you do things. See your own greatness, your own uniqueness, and your own talent, and work with that. Because all of the people that you read about, you will probably see they went like, oh, I do stuff differently. I'm going to continue doing things differently.
Yes.
I'm not going to read 15 books about how did somebody do it else differently. I'm like, no, this is me. And usually when you get attacked verbally or in public or on social media, that's a sign that you're onto something good. Because if you don't get attacked, you're merely fighting for the status quo.
Yeah.
So and that's what I want to bring home there is, and it's a difficult process.
Yes.
Because it's like me asking you, Ekene, describe your nose. You're like, I can't do that. Because your talents and skills are so close to you, it's very difficult to see. And it's a journey. And, because I'm 50, that's why I speak from a place of authenticity, because I've gone through the years of trying to imitate somebody else.
Yeah.
Like my one speaking coach said in a competition when I was still part of Toastmasters, he says, you'll do good in this one, but you won't go to the next round. I go like, why? He says, because you're fake. You're not yourself.
Ooh.
And I said to him, I can be and say and do what the F I want. He says, you can effing do that. And I said, I'll effing do it. and I did. And the people in the audience who've seen me speak for about 5 years by then went like, wow, we've never, ever seen you speak with so much energy, conviction, and you drew the crowd in. And that's the thing is to own yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a difficult thing. And it's a process.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. See, wow, you stumped me with that. Because almost everybody think they need to copy the way someone else who is successful has done it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, like you said, there's nothing wrong learning a few things that those people did, but then ultimately we need to be ourselves.
Yes.
Ooh.
But it's difficult. It's so challenging because you're getting feedback from so many channels.
Yeah.
And is this right? And is this, and it ticks people off. And you have to deal with losing friends and losing family and stuff like that because people don't agree with you.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy journey.
Wow. It isn't. Wow. Interesting one.
Thank you.
See, it's something I myself need to look at, think about. Yeah. On my own journey.
Because as the creator of this podcast, you only speak to leaders in Africa. And you made it clear, not politicians.
Yeah,
you don't see them as true
I
leaders.
totally did that. Yes, that's true. That's
you
me.
need to lead this. Yeah, and yet you need to lead this and hold a tight conversation. And if somebody falls out of that, you're like, listen, got to get back in line.
Exactly.
And if somebody doesn't want to, well, then you're not part of my world. And a lot of people are afraid to say no. Think a little bit. Over the past 7 days, how many times did you say yes, and how many times did you say no?
For me, I say no a lot.
That's good. Yeah, but you're an older guy
no,
like me.
I say no a lot. My daughters, I say no to a lot of people I talk to online.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do.
But that's a journey. But you learned it the hard way.
Yes,
when you went like, oh, I have so many commitments. I said yes to how many 100 people?
I used to say yes to a lot of people. And at the end of the day, I find myself struggling to meet a quarter of those people I say yes to. You know. Yeah,
but you forget to meet the most important person. That's your own needs.
I'm out of the way.
Needs.
I'm out of the way.
Out of the way.
Yeah.
Your needs are so important, and specifically in a business.
Yes.
You know what? You've probably let go of a few bad relationships in your life, and you're much better off today. And the same applies to a business. There's nothing greater than letting go of a really bad business.
Yeah.
And just killing it. Like, I'm done with you.
Well, see, Willem, see what your approach to entrepreneurship. It's something that I will recommend a lot of young Africans to look at and explore. You see, Africa has a lot of problems. We know that. Okay, we know that, and for me, having a lot of problems means we also have a lot of opportunities to solve problems. Okay. Now, we have not been doing very well at it. Okay. So my question is this: what are the reasons stopping young Africans from finding solutions to the problems in their communities and creating businesses?
That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked it. Number one, it's not a resilience issue.
Okay.
Our people are very resilient. If you're not resilient, Africa will eat you alive.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true.
If you're not resilient, don't come here. Okay. It'll spit you out. Now, Africa is very rich in resources, tremendously. But our people are extremely poor in resourcefulness. It's as if we do the same thing again and again, and we get the same result. And as long as I get a consistent result,
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Oh.
And I see it. So this week, part of my rapid job creation program, where I help young people create a business in 5 weeks or less that make enough money to financially sustain.
We'll talk about that soon.
We'll get to that, but I just wanted to set the context on it. So I started with 38 young people in the incubation part on, when was it? Tuesday. And it was like having an argument with your family over Christmas dinner. You know, it's not going to go anywhere. And it's just they fighting me why they can't. And I can't this like this one person. What business you started? She said, no, this business. I'm like, excellent. Okay, when? Next year. I'm like, what? You're going to build it in the next 4 weeks.
You are talking about me fighting with my daughter, my second daughter.
Yeah,
we do this all the time.
Yes. And then she said, but I don't have time. Why? No, because I'm still at school here. Okay, cool. What are you doing weekends? Nothing. Oh, really? Oh, so what are you doing then? And then another excuse, but I don't have that piece of equipment. Okay, cool. Anybody in the class got that? 8 people got it. Make a plan. Okay. And it was just, it was like pulling teeth. Yeah, but I can't this and I can't that. And it's, they're standing in their own way because really, who can they look up to as a mentor nowadays? And that's a challenge, is we don't have strong men in the communities or at home.
Yeah.
If you look at, I'm a single father. Only 4% of fathers in South Africa get custody of their children. 4%.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we don't have strong people that we can look up to. Not that I'm saying women can't be strong, but you need both. You need all energies in that. And it's, I think, in a sense, multiple generations that we didn't have a strong social structure. Resulted in that. And it's having the right nucleus at home. And it's not necessarily that your parents have to be entrepreneurs. They can be career people as well.
Yeah.
And they can be struggling. But if your parents teach you the basics of if you fall down, you get up.
Get up.
And if you run out of options, there's always an option.
Yes.
There's nothing. I always tell the young people that I work with, there is no such thing as hitting the wall. It does not exist. There is no wall standing.
Possibilities are endless.
There's always a fork in the road. You stand there, you go left or right. And when you go there and you get another fork, what do? You go
sometimes you need to step back and take the road you didn't take before.
Exactly.
There are always options.
And that failure is sad, but I address that mindset quite quickly in my work.
Wow.
So the resourcefulness of our people in general. And it's not that it's an intelligence thing or an education thing or anything else. It's simply opening your eyes.
Yeah.
That's all that it takes. And seeing. And so we have the potential to create jobs and solve our own problems. Everything is here.
Wow. So resourcefulness is the main issue that you see.
Most definitely.
Okay. So what in particular do you do to get people who are standing in their own way to rethink? Okay, because I talk to a lot of young people, and I experience exactly what you just said. Okay, it's like you are pulling teeth just to let them understand that you are stopping yourself. Okay, so what's the best strategy that you have employed to help them to see what you're trying to help them see?
Okay, it has many shapes and forms, but the best short summary is show, don't tell. What I mean by that, and referring back to my fire walking.
Yeah.
So if I had to ask you, does fire burn you? Does fire burn you?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then you categorically go like, that's the truth. It does burn you. Okay. And now I'm getting you to walk barefoot over 600 to 700 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, Celsius, red hot coal fire for about 8 or 10 meters. And then your feet look like this afterwards. Okay. So my question there is, does fire burn then? No, it doesn't. Okay. But yet we see it as the absolute truth. And then I get you to do that. And you go like, hang on. That's not true. So what else is not true in my life either? You know, my belief that I'm not good enough, smart enough, in the right continent.
Yeah.
I studied the right stuff, and etc. You know, the limiting beliefs that
Yeah.
you have. And when I show these young people how they can start a business like this, their eyes open to possibility.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing. So
yeah,
I show, I don't tell, because I can tell you have daughters. You can tell them.
Yes.
And it goes like through this side in and that side out. And we did the same to our parents, but it's about showing.
Yeah.
And once they see, to be there to support them, not go like, yeah, I told you, yeah. Don't do that. Go like, okay, cool. How do we accelerate this? And that's how I bring about the mindset shift, is by showing.
Yeah.
Because if you make people experience stuff. So the work that I do, if you look at what I refer to my startup program as an entrepreneurial apprenticeship. I don't teach entrepreneurship like people say, oh, you got to teach people to fish. No, don't do that. Because we teach so much entrepreneurship in Africa. Africa has been over-taught on entrepreneurship. See, what I do is I create fishermen. I don't just teach them to, I go like, this is, you become one.
Yeah.
And then that's the difference that we have. And it's about that practical side. So let people experience stuff. Let them fall in their face. I mean, so many people will start and create multiple businesses in 4 weeks in my program. And when they come back and go like, oh, you know, it's been a week. I'm not making money with this. I think I'm going to close it. And then we celebrate. We go high fives. Kill that business. Kill that business. Let go of that bad thing. Get a nicer one. And then we do it. And usually people go like, what? Are you happy? I'm excited because now we're letting go of that bad thing.
Yeah. You start a new one.
Definitely. It's easy.
Yeah. Once you show people how to do it, okay, and they actually did it, they now know how to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
It can't be the same person.
And that's the difference between showing and teaching.
Oh, telling.
Yeah, telling. Okay. Yeah. That's the basic difference. Yes. Yeah. See, it's like teaching or showing your own children how to do things. You see, it's exactly. It's better if you want to teach your children cooking.
Absolutely.
You get them.
That's why my program I refer to it as an apprenticeship. Yeah,
you get them in the kitchen.
You do it,
and they do it with you, and
absolutely
they get involved in cooking.
Yeah.
Rather
than
telling them
how to wash dishes.
Yeah, very good. So I is that exactly what you do in your rapid job creation program? Yeah,
absolutely. People are shocked and amazed at how practical it is.
Yeah.
And then I go, well, do you do this? Do you? No, I don't. I do this. And we hammer on straightforward. Because how I got to that was in 2014.
Yeah.
See, I did my master's for my dissertation for my master's degree, and I focused on innovation. And that's when I came to realize that innovation doesn't work.
Ooh.
Okay. You can't innovate the business.
Okay.
Because a business is just an empty container. That's all it is. It's the people in the business that make the business.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't innovate the people, the business won't be innovative. So I set out, how do you innovate a human being? I'm a very hard-driven personal development junkie. So I developed a a process, and I started teaching it to people in 2015. And one of the first people I taught it to was a one-man IT company, and he grew his revenues by $100,000 in 10 months.
Wow.
Okay. And it's the same process now I use to build my businesses as well. And that's why we started testing it during lockdown to get people to do that, because it's, you innovate the human being, you awaken the potential in the human being. And it doesn't matter what age you are, it wakes you up. Because there's a lot of potential in older people as well. You know, you always get these little young speakers who go like, oh, if you're over 25, you're not creative. And then the guy in the back sits and he takes out his BlackBerry because he still has one, and he tunes out, and you lose the potential of that person.
Yeah.
But with this, it's an inclusive process. It doesn't matter what your background, what your age, what your education, whatever you can be. I've had mothers, stay-at-home moms, create new business ideas with IT company owners. They're like, oh, we can do this, we can do that. Why? Because it brings perspective. It's about perspective, Ekene. We don't always value our perspective and our African perspective. And that's, you know what, if what you look at and what you see is not the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I put a policeman in front of a crowd of people, that guy's just standing there being a policeman. He's doing nothing.
Nothing.
Half of the crowd is going to go like, I feel unsafe. I want to run. I hate this person. The other half go, I like this guy. I hang out. He makes me feel safe. And the other half goes, unsafe. Is he doing anything?
Nothing.
Nothing. He's just standing there.
Perspective.
Okay? Perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what it brings. And it's not that the one person is right and the other is wrong. It creates, oh, this is why. Yeah. So it's about perspective. That's what you bring to the table.
So now that the world is what we normally say a global village. Okay. I'm in the UK.
The world has shrunk.
You are in South Africa. Okay. Your program, your rapid jump creation program that you do,
yes.
Can someone like me in the UK do it?
You can.
Okay.
However, I don't want to roll it out in the UK for an interesting reason. Okay.
Oh,
I've had multiple discussions with people in the UK and in other first world countries. And the biggest challenge that I face in places like the UK was somebody who has the whole social support structure there.
yes.
What would motivate them to get out of the benefit system and into their own hustle? Okay? So I'm looking at that market and go like, that's not my market. I want to play in developing economies.
Okay. So
and yeah.
So how does people in Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt, Kenya get into your program? You are in South Africa.
Oh, absolutely. So I scale through humans.
Okay.
So I have about 5 other trainers as well.
Okay.
And I like to use other firewalking instructors as well for the training. I have a network of them available to me right through Africa.
Okay.
For a few reasons. Number one, you know, Ekene, how many presentations have you been in? We're like, good morning. This is slide number 1 of 522. So just open your manuals on page 3. Okay, no. So my classes, there's high fives, there's yes, there's celebrations, there's jumps, there's stuff, there's interaction. So we know how to manage energy in a room.
Okay.
Irrespective if you give me 5 or 5,000 people, I can manage the energy in the room.
Okay.
Second of all, we're very good at helping people break through limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
We quickly get that. that right through. So best way is reach out to me. Go like, wow, how can we do that? And I work with people. If I'm going to go, okay, cool. How can you help me establish a footprint in wherever it is? You know, so like Monday, I have a meeting with a minister in a neighboring country. So we're going to start doing it there. And I'm taking one of my trainers with that speaks the language of that specific country.
Yeah.
But also we're doing a test in Q3 here in South Africa in a specific environment. And if that works well, we'll take it up into Central Africa next year.
Okay.
So talk to me, work with me, because I don't look at my work as the single, that's the answer. Yeah. Okay. I look at the whole value chain.
Yeah.
So I'm a great feeder because I'm so high up the value chain, because I work with the absolute bottom of the pyramid of society, and I help these people make entrepreneurship relevant, contextual, and executable for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it's a great feeder to other programs, so that you can get the right people into your program. But I'm also downstream from other skills development programs. You might have, like we have now, I'm looking for sponsorship for 25 agri-entrepreneurs. So these 25 young people have been taught how to grow good quality vegetables over a year period. But they've not been taught how to turn that skill into a business. So once this ends, they're going to sit at home and go like, I need a job.
Yeah.
So now, if you look at combining that program with mine, now we complete the circle of impact. So get creative. Now that you have a tool at your disposal that we can take average people in Africa to start a business in 5 weeks or less that make enough money to financially sustain themselves. Let's do that. But also, you know, I'm talking to some financial services company who's letting 500 people go because they're cutting back on staff. But now this is going to be part of their career pivoting.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
So now helping keep them in the economy.
Yeah.
So there's many creative ways that we can get involved. So just connect with me, contact me, and let's have the discussion. I mean, I have 3 or 4 of these meetings on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Very good. Very good. Now, I want to talk to you about something very important. Okay. You see, one issue that I have observed in recent times is a large number of Chinese citizens are migrating to Africa, okay, and starting businesses, okay, and our people are complaining, maybe complaining for things that they do. For example, I've seen on social media where our Ghanaian brothers and sisters are complaining about the Chinese citizens mining in their forests, polluting the waters, this, that, you know. And in Zambia, there are also different complaints. Okay, in Kenya, I've always heard complaints of their businesses are doing very well and they're stealing our business. Okay, so the point is this. For me, okay, I see the migration of Chinese people flowing into Africa. We can't stop it. Okay, and I will tell you, I don't think we need to stop it. Okay, that's for me, because I've looked at all the developed countries in the world. There's something for migrants from different countries to come there and put something in that society. Okay, so my question to you is this. Yes. I don't know how much of Chinese citizens have come to South Africa, for example,
Mm.
but maybe you do. So are they adding value to the Chinese, to the South African society and the economy?
Okay, cool. I'm going to segment into this through a little story. So one of my good friends, he's Zimbabwean, and he lives here in South Africa now for the past, I think, 20 years.
Yeah.
And he and I were standing somewhere, and somebody was going like, yeah, look at all these foreigners. You know, they come here and they do all these businesses, and but also have you seen how hard they work? And then my friend said, everybody works hard when they're not in their own country, because you don't have your own support structure.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I go to a new country, I have no support structure. I'm putting in 150%. Okay. I'm pushing. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that is just, if someone is outworking you, maybe it's time to go and stand in the mirror a bit and go like, what can I do better?
Yeah.
The second part that I want to look at is, if you struggle with this group of people and you block them, another group will come. If you block them, another group will come. So it's not about Chinese people. It's about allowing different thinking, different ways of doing business into your environment. So you can try to keep that out, but you will fall behind the world.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's
instead
good.
of complaining, learn. See, success leaves clues. That's a classic one from Anthony Robbins.
Yeah.
And the key thing is, I don't know the value that they currently add to our economy.
Okay.
I can't honestly comment on that.
Okay.
It's not my field.
Okay.
I have a few Chinese friends, amazing people, love them to bits. Okay. But I want to speak to the African people and go like, and so you can either make excuses or you can make money.
Okay.
Which one do you want to make? Okay. You can't do both. You can't do both. And always tell people, look at it as a blessing, because they're pushing you to do something different, something better, something bigger. So instead of looking at it as a curse, look at it as a blessing. So I'm very happy with different perspectives and different ways, because South Africa struggles a lot with xenophobia, because most of the small spaza shops are owned by foreigners. Why? Because they just do it better than the other guys. And instead of complaining, how do they do it better? Learn, see, adapt. But imagine me sitting here. You know, it's unfair. You know, all this. I developed this process in Africa for Africa, but how do I compete with the first world? All that they're pumping into Africa is lean startup. I can do nothing. Maybe we should get lean startup out of Africa, and you're gonna follow it while you're doing what I expected you to do. To laugh. You're like, are you ridiculous? Okay, so I hear both sides, and I feel, but like I say to the people in my classes, you want to make excuses, you want to make millions, make a decision today. You can't do both, and it's you go through it, I go through it as well, and that brings me back to my comment. It's our people are not resourceful. Because although this person is doing something different, they're like, yeah, but I'm going to do it exactly the same way and compete. No, you're not. You're going to lose. It's guaranteed to lose. I can bet money on it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we face is our people are not being resourceful.
Yeah. See, like I said earlier, I want young Africans who complain when people from different countries come into their country to observe in history, okay, there is no country in the world that has developed without foreign entities. Let me use that.
Absolutely.
So it includes companies
with other
and
cultures, with
individuals
other cultures.
and cultures coming in. See, I live in the UK. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a foreigner here. Okay.
You are. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But I came here with a highly skilled migrant visa. Okay.
Yes.
Because I had something that the economy of this country at that time needed.
The local people didn't offer.
Didn't have. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I came here.
Short supply.
Exactly. Yeah. And see, even now, the UK government is going to Africa and recruiting massive number of nurses for the NHS. Okay. They come to Africa to recruit thousands of nurses. So, see, I'm just using that as an example. We can look at every country. See, people think, many of us do not think why the United States has been the greatest country in the world for the last 150 years. For me, I say it's the amount of different people coming in to build that country. See, the United States is a combination of every single culture on this planet.
Yes.
There's someone, at least one, from every single country in the world who is a US citizen. And they come into US with the little skills, know-how of their people, and they put it into the US, and the US has become the greatest country in the world. So if we also want to build Africa, we need to allow other people from their countries add value to our own society. I think that's my belief. And I want people to explore this notion, not just to accept what I've said, but to explore it.
And you're not proposing, let's just have a borderless Africa. Okay. What you're saying is invite different perspectives.
Yes.
Invite different way of doing and seeing things.
Yeah.
What can you learn from it? Because if we continue complaining, our continent will remain behind.
Exactly.
No, we can't afford that anymore.
We can't. We cannot.
The pace at which we are falling behind in certain parts is just, we need to reverse that.
Yeah.
We need to catch up.
Yeah.
And that's why resourcefulness is so important to me.
Now, the only thing I say to young Africans is this. See, the Chinese in particular, in the next 30 years, I won't be surprised that there will be 30 million Chinese citizens in Africa. Okay. Now, I don't want the Africans to become second-class citizens under the Chinese. But then, how do we make sure that doesn't happen? It's up to us. Let me just say this. It's up to us to elevate ourselves, elevate our knowledge. Okay? It's up to us. It's not up to the Chinese to downgrade themselves. It's up to us to elevate our own selves. by
I always
learning.
tell people, you can't uplift yourself by bringing somebody else down.
Exactly.
Then everybody loses.
Yeah.
But one thing that I see a lot, so I will sit with young people in my class and they can't do basic math that I would do in my head.
Yeah.
They can't do with a calculator. Yet they passed school.
Yeah.
And then they're 25, 30 years old, and I asked them, but listen, at which part of your life are you going to take responsibility for this?
Ooh.
The school system failed you, but I'm sure you know YouTube, and there's some nice mathematic content on there. Why? Because my son is 12. Okay. So make a plan, take responsibility for your own life. And, but yet, I think that's a different podcast completely.
Yes,
Discuss there the responsibility and accountability of self within the continent of Africa.
Yeah, that's something we need to talk about in another episode. Okay, so I'll bring you on again to talk about that. Sure. Now,
cool.
You see, I'm glad you work with young Africans. I'm so happy about that. Okay. So what is your advice to these young people, okay, to help them contribute their own quota to develop their communities?
You have to realize that nobody owes you anything.
Okay.
Nobody's here to save you. Nobody can live your life. If they could, they would, and they would be in control of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to take responsibility for the direction of your life.
Yes.
Nobody's going to give anything to you. But I think, aid has been pouring into Africa so much. What has the impact of that been on the mindset and perspective of our people? And it's not that aid in itself is wrong.
Yeah, it's not.
It's how you allow it to shape you. A lot of people are afraid of wealth. They're scared of it. But I always tell them wealth is just an amplifier. It makes bigger that was there to start with.
Yeah.
So I think best way there is we as parents need to keep our children accountable and responsible for their own lives.
Yes.
If you're hanging around in my house and you're not productive, you're consuming more than you produce, maybe you shouldn't be in my house. And it's tough love. My son, when he was 6, like, I want Lego. And I'm like, you have enough to start your own shop. So I refuse. I will not give you Lego. I will give you the skill to make money. What do you want? And he said, give me that. And he started the business and he made enough money to buy Lego.
Wow.
At the age of 6. So at that age, that was mine. You know what? You're consuming more than you produce. So let's make a plan. So let me show you how to produce. And he started doing that. Even my stepdaughter, when she was at school, by selling makeup and cookies, she made she earned a monthly salary through that, better than most people who work in retail operating tills do.
Yeah.
She was at high school. And this was a side thing, not something she did 8 hours a day. So, yeah, it's not that but you need to be tough. And, I think I read a quote the other day, weak men create a weak world.
Ooh. And that's very true. That is very true.
And we need to, I always tell people, I'm not a nice person. Ekene, I'm not a nice person, but I'm a kind person. It's because nice people tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
I tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
I think there's too many nice people in this world and not enough kind people.
I agree. Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I used to be a nice person. Okay. I used to.
Yeah, no.
But
It
today,
doesn't serve anybody.
today, a kind person, not a nice person, just like you. And unfortunately, a lot of people I was nice to do not like me.
Oh no! Oh shame! Yeah, you know.
But then I'm comfortable where I am today. Okay, I'm
Yes, but now
comfortable
you
and
draw
happy.
real, authentic people into your life
Yeah.
as well, and
Okay,
that's
I'm
what you want. Don't
comfortable to
surround
be
yourself with
kind
false.
and not
Yeah,
nice. Yes.
absolutely. No,
Yes.
so nice.
Yes.
Fully agree with you on that.
Wow. Okay. Willem, I will tell you, we're nearly at the end of this conversation. Okay.
Went quick.
Yes, it went quick, very quick. The last question I ask many of my guests is this: what do you see in 20, 30 years time? What Africa do you see? What Africa do you envisage? What Africa do you actually want to live in? Do you actually want your son to live in?
I see two Africas.
Okay.
The one that is 10 times worse than it is now.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's
and
a possibility.
Is an absolute possible, not
it's
a
a possibility.
That's not a thought experiment.
No.
That is a great possibility. Because especially, you know, when you told me about the complaints that people have, this and that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, like I said, you can either complain, make excuses, or make money. Which one do you want to do? The other one is where our people wake up to our own potential.
Okay.
And see the potential in each other. Okay. In South Africa, we have the spirit of Ubuntu. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yep, of course.
But I don't see it. The only way I see it is if I earn $1 more than you, I have the right to step on you. Yeah, that's what I see in action.
I agree. We say it.
This whole thing about community, and it's about what communities.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm probably upsetting a lot of people here, but
I agree.
Go and look. We judge each other. We look down upon each other. We're divisive. It reminds me one evening, my son and I was looking at an atlas. And we looked at a satellite picture of Africa. And I said, look at this, no borders. And it's what I'm proposing here is we should have borderless thinking.
Okay.
We should have borderless thinking and see each other for the skills, talents, potential, and greatness that we have in each other. Once we can do that, we can be an unstoppable force. But if we continue being divisive in our minds, you know, complaining, you're this, you shouldn't be here, you're there, you have snakes in your house, that stuff. Just move forward. And rather, instead of talking about what you don't have, let's start talking about what we could have. Because too many times we focus too much on what we don't, instead of looking at what we do.
Yep.
And that's the shift that I wish for Africa, that we stop focusing on what we don't have and focusing on what we do have. And that includes each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Willem,
thank you.
I agree with you. And like I said, I would like to have you back because from this brief conversation, it's clear to me that we have more things to talk about. And I really want to explore the other issues. Okay.
Absolutely.
We have basically focused on you and something you do, but we have I see for Africa to develop, we need to create more businesses. Okay. That's
and that's my
aim. Okay. And that's what you do. Okay. But for me, the more important thing is the way we think. Okay. Is the way we think is what will actually help us to create those businesses. Okay. So I think we need to come back and talk about things that we do, the way we think, the way we interact with each other. Those are the real issues that will actually progress Africa. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
So, Willem, thank you very much for being a good guest of
fun.
Think Big for Africa. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, man. Love
Thank
it.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.